Okay, so welcome back to the stream, or to this week's catch-up stream, I should say. Though, I will apologize for the last couple weeks. Life has been making it difficult to keep this weekly streams. I will be covering the so-called update for NGS, or Phantasy Star Online to New Genesis, even though it's not even really qualified to be update. And I have plans to
Please give it everything
cover the next season of Master Chief Collection, as well as the upcoming beta for Halo Infinite. I have participated a bit in the closed betas, but the previous closed betas, or more accurate, technical previews as they call them. However, I was not able to get streaming to work during the technical previews, possibly due to the fact that I don't run the full public release of the Xbox firmware, I guess would be the proper term. I run an insider build. I believe it's the Delta. Anyway, so we got the Divine Priest series. Whatever the hell this is. Divine Dancer. Bright Blossom. It's Innerwear. Whatever the hell this Edel Zelen pronunciation is. We've got two pose, two finger pose, air quotes. So that doesn't look. Oh, there we go. Rock on. Long and straight. Internal form layered. Whatever that's pronounced. Can't really show off the eyes because I wear sunglasses. Eyebrow lashes. There's facial scar C. Basically PSO2's manga blush and anime blush. Pantheon tattoos, which I can't show off without There we go. Well, can't even show it off either way. Then you've got Blossom Paint. Or Blossom Paint. The Blossom Ribbon. Sarah Feathers. Aura Surges. Keep in mind that you can only change how big they are and nothing else. Tail Stabilizer, not that I can really show it off because of my cape. Japanese Fan. Can't show off that. Dog Balloon, which is literally a dog suspended by a balloon. For Gauntlet. Pom-pom ornament. Winged ear cuff. Can't really show that off, unfortunately. Strapless chest. Okay. Just looks like basically a couple egg thingies. Like fake cleavage. Wouldn't be surprised if the black parts there are able to be skin colored in customization. Though for those prices, I definitely won't be able to show figure it out or try it, my theory. So that's literally all that's new for this update yet again. Nothing but a cash grab update. So as I said, I will be doing the opened, or trying to do the Halo Infinite open beta. Although, from what I've seen in the closed beta, I honestly am not impressed with the multiplayer. It literally looks like a bad knockoff of both COD, which in my opinion is already a bad enough franchise, like horrible. It's basically the same game over and over again, just relabeled with as far as multiplayer is concerned. And each so-called new release is basically nothing more than a DLC from the last one that's released as a full replacement game. And anyway, so back on topic, it seems like a disfigured love child between, well, dysfunctional and disfigured love child between Destiny and COD. I mean, they used the same horrible preconceived shader system from the original Destiny. Like, straight rip-off from the original Destiny. So, we shall see. In the meantime, I hate to admit that there has been no real releases or anything remotely worth covering outside of the technical previews. But again, although I did try to stream them, Twitch was not allowing me. It may be different, and I hope it is, for the open technical preview. Allergies, sorry about that. And if it is, I'll stream that. I plan to stream what they add with the Master Chief Collection during the next season, as well as the insider test what they do on a season-to-season basis as much as possible. Again, sometimes I won't be able to do it. Sometimes it'll be delayed. I will try to make the streams predictably at the same scheduled time, but my work basically has me on call status, so when they're short of staff, they call me and I come in and help out. So there's no real way to predict if I'll be able to stream when I plan to stream. And sometimes I'll even have to cut the stream short. I did plan to continue working on the missed streams the last couple weeks, but work and other things going on in life interfered. Weekly tasks. You can see that they removed the seasonal point system. They did add these limited times events, which they seem to add when it comes close to the next Star Gem series to be released. Honestly, there's only a week left before they announce the next what's coming next for NGS. I believe they call it the headline series, but I honestly can't say too much about that, considering this franchise is supposed to be an episodic update for the story mode, and yet we still have yet to have a single episode. So it is likely that we'll only have any real content episode once, or content of story mode once a year. And if that's the case, and the only weekly updates will just be these obvious money grab AC series, I will literally be uninstalling this game for the next 2 years at least. So we shall see. Although, as you can see, I was leveling up this character. I do know they are supposed to come out with the Bouncer class, but if all they do is add the class and some outfit stuff for it, then it's not even worth mentioning. And that's basically what they did with when they added Braver, although they did add a side quest with a sort of storyline tied into it to the main story, but it only was a memorial related quest with, I think her name was Anna. It's been a while since I played the story, and it was so short. And the side quest is literally, you'll be done in less than 15-20 minutes. And at best, the current story mode is 4 hours long. You actually spend more time just trying the grind to where you're able to participate in the next story mission than you actually do in the actual story missions. Like, for example, to access this area, the Vadford Labs, for the first time, you have to meet a certain battle power. It took me about an hour to get to the point in the story where I have to grind to that point, even though there was technically another grind point, but because I still had some leftover lower tier armor from classic PSO2, I was high enough level without having the grind the first time around. But when the second out of 3 grind spots, which are Mount Magnus, Vadford Laboratory, Ruins, and Rizal Forest, these 3 locations are locked until you meet a certain battle power requirement. It took about 3 days of grinding before I could access this, but then again, I was playing solo, and apparently there's a bunch of restrictions on solo play as far as XP gains, but there's also restrictions on your party levels, like unless everybody's in the party is about the same level, give or take 1 or 2 levels, then it'll negatively affect XP gains, so you'll get even less than you would get if you were playing solo. And it also depends on what enemies you're fighting and their levels and tiers and all that. Anyway, so it took me 3 days the grind to unlock Vadford Library Ruins story, and 2 weeks of grinding to unlock the Rizal Forest. Of course, that wasn't consistent. I got tired of grinding, so I only did it about an hour a day during those time periods. Or during that week, I should say. Not during the first grind period I really had to focus on. But yeah, the story mode's only took me 4 hours to complete outside of those grinds, so I do find the game enjoyable by itself, but issues abound. not even counting the bugs. The lack of story content is a big letdown. The way, if your friends are not the same level as you or even close, it greatly hampers your ability to do anything together. Also, the fact that you have to pay to transfer ships, and those who participate in betas still have to pay money for it, which is ridiculous. I'm one of the few people that I know, friend-wise, that participated in closed betas. And right now, I'm the only active one of my friends that are on ship 2. Everybody else is on ship 1 and 3, and another friend only plays when he's playing with somebody else, so... And he's like low level to the point where there's no real enjoyment of doing activities, because the only activities we can do together is basically grinding the shit out of enemies. But the way they have it stacked up is I take him to fight level 12s and 15s in this area, but he's such a low level that he can't even do any damage to them. And so I have to do all the combat, and yet we only get maybe 5 XP at the most from those particular enemies. And he literally, like, he's below me, even though that my braver class is only level 11.
Thanks for stopping by.
I have been leveling up quite a few different classes, as you can see. And so
come by anytime, okay?
I end up playing solo, and those who have paid attention to me, is I am more of a social gamer. The biggest enjoyment from gaming is the unique interactions with other actual people. So I get bored of playing solo really easily, especially when it's repetitive grinding. So if you're anything like me and you're thinking about playing this game, sad to say, I would pass it up and wait until they actually update the content enough to make it worthwhile. I'll still keep track of the update news, but regardless of what happens, but right now there's
Eradication of dolls in accordance with Defense Directive confirmed. Thank you for your contribution to the mission.
Todd Speaker. There's just no point of really playing it unless you either have a group of friends that are pretty much level 20s already on both subclass and primary class, or at least primary level 20 and subclass level 15, basically, to do the urgent quests like the one that just expired. But power level requirements are kind of annoying. Right now, due to the fact that I'm leveling up Braver, I am exactly 100 battle power below the most common urgent quest at the moment, which is basically defending an oil rig, so it's not really that exciting to begin with. While I'm thinking of it, I guess I'll show off some of the prices for each of these particular things. As you can see, the in-game economy is, let's just say, very, very unbalanced. Oh. They reintroduced that one. And that one. In a nutshell, that is the current issue. And as you can see, I only have 161 Mesta. But that's because the only real decent way of making Mesta is completing these per day and week. And they're basically grinds, so it gets boring by yourself. So, I suppose that's the end of this stream. I hope to have something better available to offer potential audiences and those who actually pay attention to my streams next week or in the coming days, whichever comes first. Until next time, everyone.